Hi, welcome. How to deploy and run integration using command line interface with a Pervasive data integrator V10. Basically, in two ways we can deploy and run the integration of a Djar files. Djar file. What is Djar file? Djar file will have the project process, maps, and configuration files of the project, which is created in using Pervasive data integrator V10. The Djar file is look like a jar file, compressed jar file. We're going to use a Djar file to deploy in a command line interface and run the integration. Basically, in two ways we can deploy the Djar. That is, one is integration manager and then command line interface. Integration manager will available in the V10 screen home page itself. We can have we can see the tab like integration. We can if you click the integration tab, you have to navigate some 2 or 3 screens. We have to deploy and run through this, or else we can run through the CLI also without a GUI. I will explain you how to run through the CLI and what are the parameters we need to use. Before going to deploy the Djar in the client interface, we have to do two things. First one is we have to start the server. After that, we have to install the client of the Pervasive data integrator, which comes along with the server. Once we install the client, we need to create a project, sample project, and we have to make a release of the project. It will convert it into a Djar file. That Djar file will available in the common location. I will highlight here the folder structure. That is C colon pervasive di full 64-bit 10.2.4.36 data followed by slash di slash repository slash deployment slash repository slash djar. Here only one changes we have to do, that is one usually Pervasive data integrator will available in different kinds of builds. The latest build is 10.2.5. Here the build information is available. This is the one will differ. Otherwise, other remaining things is same. Once we found the Djar, we have to extract in particular location where in anywhere in the system. Why we are extracting the Djar? Because we have to mention the runtime configuration. Djar will have the configuration file, so that configuration we need while doing the execution. The first step one, we are using die deploy command. Die deploy command means this is a command. It has some commands to deploy the Djar. Here you can see the sample screenshot of it. I will explain what are the parameters and what are the commands they are used. We have to start the client machine. You can see this location C colon pervasive di client tool 64.10.2.3. We can use whatever build version of a client to run the Djars, and don't use the high grade version of the Djar to run in the low version of the client. It won't run, it will throw some error. Okay, let's come to the parameter command suite. I will explain the commands. First command is -server. Server, before we have to type first die deploy.bat. This is a bat file going to contain, it's going to execute to deploy things. Server, if you are install your server in a machine which has static IP, we have to mention the static IP, or else you can, if you install in the local machine, you have to mention as a local host. and followed by the port number. Usually the DI groups will occupy the default port 80. If you install the same machine or some other software which occupies the 80, it won't allow uh, DI server to run. So we need to change the port number to 81, 82 or something else. I will explain you in detail after completing the CLI things, how to change the port. Okay, first, once we enter the port number, we have to give the credential using a command like -cr. Basically, DI will have the default credentials are username as super and password as super. We have to enter the credential, or else we can change the username password also. Followed by we have to give the djar file name, that is -deploy underscore djar. Followed by we have to give the djar file location, that is, before I told we have to extract the djar file, or else, and then we have to keep the djar file in separate location, like what I mentioned here. We have to give the this location, djar location, to run the. Once we enter the djar location, we have to press enter. We can find the following message, that is deploying file, followed by the teacher file name which we have used. Once you get the message like successfully deployed as a version of 1.0, that means your teacher is successfully deployed in the server. After deployment, we have to run the Djar. That is the step 2. How to run the Djar. Using die-bash command. Use die-bash command to run the integration. This is a sample screenshot to execute the Djar file. The same credentials, same commands you have to enter. Di bash dot bat hyphen server localhost or static IP. You have to give credential port number or credentials, and here we have to add the two new commands, that is -l. -l means log location, the execution log, where we need the log locations, log files we have to store. That location we have to mention here. And -rtc, that is runtime configuration. Runtime configuration means this file basically available in .json format. We can find this file inside the djar. That is why we are extracting the djar file in a particular location. We have to give that location. After giving the RTC, we have to give the entry point. Entry point means basically project will have the process and maps. We have to mention process has to execute or map has to execute first. We have to through this way, that is -bp followed by the djar name slash the process name dot process, and then space CLI underscore run dot 2.0. That means djar file name. Press enter. You can see the following information, that is what is the status of the package in the execution, whether it is in execution state or in the queue state. It will create a new job ID for this execution, and it will show through the informations of entry point, the package name, and the job ID, what is the execution status, whether it is successful or not successful. And then if any error throws, it will show the error information. What are the information we are seeing in the screen? This information will be logged in the location we have mentioned in the command, that is followed by -l. The location followed by the -l. This is a way we have to deploy and run the Djar files, which is prepared through a Pervasive data integrator V10. And note, we need to maintain the spaces between the commands using the CLI window. Please refer the above screenshot. Thanks. And how to explain how to change the port number. Basically, uh, we can have an options like configuration utility. It will where we have to find us. We have to go to the all programs. In that, we have to find the folder of Pervasive Data Integrator. In that, we can find options like configuration utility. It will open up the big screen. That screen has the port information. All the runtime configuration information will have. We have to change to 82, 81, or 82. When or else we have to navigate to the particular location called where we install the pervasive, that is C colon pervasive, the build number, and we have to find the folder name called etc. Inside the etc we have to find the file name called org.ops4j.js followed by in that file we have to open that file in a call any text editor, navigate to the port number. We have to find the word called port followed by the number will be available. That is default it will be a 80. We have to change into 80 or 81 and save it. Restart the DI server and restart the client and start to follow the our process which I explained that. Through this way we can run the Djar file in a CLI mode. Thanks for watching.